They promised a revolutionary new console, raised tens of millions, and then delivered nothing but debt, lawsuits, and a digital ghost. This isn't the story of a startup, but a baffling saga that tarnished the legacy of a legendary toy company. In the late 1970s, the air in suburban living rooms crackled with the digital beeps and boops of Atari's groundbreaking video computer system. Across the country, in the corporate suites of Mattel Inc., the toy giant watched with growing envy. Atari, a small electronics company, was raking in millions, and Mattel wanted a piece of that nascent, explosive market. In 1978, Mattel's engineering VP, Richard Chang, gave the green light: build a home video game console. The directive was clear: it had to be better than Atari. Led by engineers like Dave Rolfe and architect Russ Ludwig, the team at Mattel Electronics developed a system far more advanced for its time. Internally dubbed Project Blue Sky, it featured a 16-bit microprocessor, while Atari used 8-bit, superior graphics that offered a smoother, more detailed look, and a truly innovative feature: an optional voice synthesis module called the IntelliVoice, promising talking games in 1982, years before competitors. Launched in 1979 as the Intellivision, it quickly became Atari's primary competitor. Its initial price of $299 positioned it as a premium device. Mattel poured millions into marketing, touting its superior graphics with side-by-side comparisons that famously proclaimed, "The future is here." By 1982, the Intellivision had sold over 2 million units, generating hundreds of millions in revenue. Its software, developed by a secret internal team known only as the Blue Sky Rangers, garnered critical acclaim, especially its groundbreaking sports titles like Major League Baseball and NFL football. This golden age saw Mattel's electronics division soaring, nearly hitting $500 million in sales by 1983. However, underneath the gleaming success, signs of trouble brewed. The console was complex to manufacture, leading to high costs, and its unique disc-based controller, while innovative, proved divisive. But these were minor tremors compared to the seismic shift about to hit the entire industry. Despite initial success, the market was about to turn brutally cold, threatening to extinguish not just Intellivision, but the entire industry. By mid-1984, the dust of the North American video game crash had settled, leaving a graveyard of consoles and a silence where vibrant arcade sounds once echoed. Mattel, reeling from massive losses, took a staggering $300 million write-off and shut down its electronics division. The Intellivision, along with its promising future, seemed destined for the bargain bin of history. But the story didn't end there. A small group of former Mattel Electronics executives, led by Terence E. Valesky, believed in the system's untapped potential. In 1984, they bought the rights to Intellivision, forming INTV Corporation. For nearly a decade, INTV Corp quietly kept the brand alive, selling consoles and even releasing new games from their office in Florida. This small, dedicated operation sustained the Intellivision's legacy, building a loyal, if niche, fan base until they ultimately ceased operations in 1990. The brand then entered a long dormancy, passing through various hands, occasionally surfacing for retro compilations, until it landed in the hands of Tommy Tallarico in 2018. Tallarico, a prolific video game composer with hundreds of credits, repositioned himself as an industry visionary. He acquired the Intellivision brand, founded Intellivision Entertainment, and unveiled his grand plan, the Intellivision Amico. This wasn't just a retro console. It was presented as a revolutionary, family-friendly system designed to bring simple, local multiplayer gaming back to the forefront, countering the complexity and solo nature of modern consoles. The target market: families, casual gamers, and those nostalgic for simpler times. Tallarico's rhetoric was grand, promising an entirely new category of gaming, an everyone console, for a price point under $300. He secured investments, including over $11 million from crowdfunding platforms like Start Engine and Fig, raising an estimated $77 million in total. The initial release date was set for October 2020. However, even as excitement built among the nostalgic faithful, a more discerning eye could spot early warning signs in the hyperbolic promises and the surprisingly vague details surrounding the console's actual capabilities. As the world eagerly awaited the promised console, a darker truth began to emerge about its leadership and the very foundations of its ambitious claims. In the sterile glow of computer screens, across online forums buzzing with a mixture of hope and skepticism, the year 2020 came and went, with no Intellivision Amico on store shelves. The October 2020 launch date slipped initially to April 2021, then October 2021, then 2022, and eventually into an indefinite void. CEO Tommy Tallarico blamed supply chain issues, chip shortages, and the global pandemic. But the reasons felt increasingly hollow as other console manufacturers managed to launch products. The delays became a pattern. Pre-order campaigns, some requiring hundreds of dollars, were launched and then repeatedly postponed. Actual gameplay footage remained scarce and often appeared rudimentary, failing to impress even dedicated fans. Crucially, the console's specifications, which Tallarico claimed would offer an experience far beyond its price point, were scrutinized by tech enthusiasts who found them underwhelming, suggesting the hardware was barely more powerful than a modern smartphone. The company itself began to unravel. Staff departures mounted, often without explanation. In February 2022, Tommy Tallarico stepped down as CEO, transitioning to president of physical media, and still acting as the public face, while former VP Phil Adam took the helm. But the leadership change did little to stem the tide. Lawsuits emerged, including one from ArcLight, a contractor claiming Intellivision Entertainment owed it over $18 million for services rendered. Allegations of unpaid wages from former employees and intellectual property disputes further complicated the picture. By late 2022 and into 2023, the scale of the failure became undeniable. Despite having raised tens of millions of dollars, estimates suggest only a few hundred Intellivision Amico units were ever assembled and shipped, primarily to early investors, developers, or influencers, often at significant discounts. The promised retail presence never materialized. The company's financial state became dire, with reports of continuous losses and a failure to secure substantial follow-up funding. The Amico saga became a spectacle of internet infamy. Online communities dissected every misstep, every outlandish claim, every bizarre video from Tallarico. Some former employees spoke out, alleging a chaotic work environment and a cult-like atmosphere surrounding Tallarico. The dream of a family-friendly console devolved into a cautionary tale of hubris, mismanagement, and perhaps even outright deception. Today, the Intellivision Entertainment website remains a ghost, advertising a console that was never truly delivered, leaving behind a trail of debt, broken promises, and a legacy forever tainted. The story of Intellivision is a stark reminder that even the most nostalgic dreams, when built on ego and empty promises, can crumble into financial ruin and public ridicule.